Is it just me, or is a perfect landing spot for Artemi Panarin the Utah Mammoth? Now, I'm sure a lot of you are aware, but if you don't know, on Wednesday night, the New York Rangers shut down Artemi Panarin. On Wednesday, reporter Chris Johnston of The Athletic and TSN tweeted out that Panarin will not be in the Rangers lineup because of roster management purposes and is not expected to dress again before the Olympic break. He then followed up that tweet by saying the Rangers are committed to holding Panarin out of their lineup until the roster freeze, and sources say that the pending UFA, Panarin, is seeking a contract extension as part of signing off on any trade. So Panarin's on his way out, 34 years old, and it's worth noting that he has a full no-move clause. So as much as Chris Drury and the Rangers want to move this guy out as soon as possible, it's really up to Panarin and his camp, right? They'll say this is where we want to go, or this is where we don't want to go, and the Rangers basically have to deal with that. But according to Elliot Friedman, they might be looking for a package similar to what to what the New York Islanders got for Brock Nelson when they traded him to Colorado, which was a first-round pick, a prospect in Cal Ritchie, and I believe a third-round conditional pick. So basically a first-rounder, a prospect, maybe a prospect who can play now, and another pick. Now, why did I land on the Utah Mammoth? Well, number one, their ownership, they're aggressive, and they want to make a splash. They want a superstar to help them take them to the next level and make them relevant in the NHL. And Panarin can help them do that. Number two, they are in the thick of a playoff race. They currently hold down the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference. They are not guaranteed to make the playoffs. And what's difficult for them is that they're in a very tough division. They're in the Central. So they're not making the top three spots, right? That goes to Dallas, that goes to Minnesota, and that goes to the Colorado Avalanche. So they're really battling for two spots. And they're holding one of them right now, which is the first wildcard spot. So if you're Panarin looking at that, you're not exactly going to a contender. You're going to a team who wants to contend in the next few seasons. But there's a chance of getting an extension there, an extension done because they have the cap space, they have the picks, they have the prospects, and they have a really good young team. Like imagine adding Panarin to Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther and Clayton Keller and JJ Peterka. That's a pretty good top six. That's a very offensive top six that can do some damage. And we know Panarin is an excellent player. Like I mentioned, it's almost a lock. This guy's going to hit 30 goals. He plays the majority of games as well. I love him over there. And Utah, what do they need right now? They're middle of the pack in goal scoring. They need more goal scoring. Their power play is second last in the NHL. Panarin can help with that. So he ticks a lot of boxes. You need a player to help take you over the top, and you want a top six forward who can score goals. That's Panarin. You want a player who's a superstar and to help your franchise become legitimate and relevant in the NHL. That's that. Ownership gets to make a splash, and now you have a team built around young stars with a veteran player who still probably has another 3 or 4 good seasons in him, and you're going to have to pay a price, but you have the cap space to do so, and the salary cap's going up. I think this is a really good move for Utah if they want to pull it off, and maybe number one, if Panarin even wants to go there. Detroit is another team I think that makes a lot of sense for Panarin. The problem here, I don't know if Panarin wants to go there, obviously. I'm just going to get that out of the way. We don't know where Panarin wants to go. Apparently his agent has reached out to California teams, and it's probably reached out to the Florida Panthers because they're going to be in the mix for every player, even though it doesn't really make sense when you look at the math. But let's get back to Detroit. Let's just say Panarin would be interested in going there. It's a good fit. I mean, imagine him with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond or Marco Casper and Patrick Kane. I mean, that's as good as it gets when it comes to a top six, and you throw DeBrincat in there. Really good top six. They need some goal scoring, middle of the pack, but their 5-on-5 scoring that's where there is a bit of a concern, 23rd in the NHL. But here's the problem. Steve Yzerman does not give out big contracts. I think the biggest contract he's given out was to Dylan Larkin, I believe, unless I'm wrong, at $8.7 million. I don't know if he wants to bring in a 34-year-old and throw the cash at him for the next 3 or 4 seasons at what, $11.5, $12 million a year? I just don't see that happening unless they want to bring him in as a pure rental and then make that decision in the summer. But it doesn't sound like Panarin wants to do that. He wants an extension now to go along with the trade. He's a great fit there, and I put him number 2 on my list for teams to go to. And it would really help Detroit, and not only in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but pushing to win the division because they're in that race. I know Tampa's been great, but equally, Detroit has been very good. They're getting outstanding goaltending from John Gibson, Siders and Norris guy. They're getting goal scoring up and down the lineup. They're young, they're fast. They just need some more goal scoring, and Panarin would really help this team. I just don't know if Stevie Y would want to pull the trigger on a move like that. I also have the Carolina Hurricanes because, of course, they're going to be on a scoring winger. They need a scoring winger. They lost Nietzsche's. They lost Rantanen, and Rantanen didn't want to stay there. Now it's trying to convince Panarin if he wants to come over and be a part of a team that, is looking to take that next step. That next step is to win an Eastern Conference final and make the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time. And Panarin would obviously help that. And it would help Carolina move on from Kotkaniemi, right? They're trying to get rid of that player and get rid of that contract. Maybe he goes the other way with a pick and a prospect, and there's your deal for Panarin, and they have the money to make it work as well. The concern there, again, is if Panarin wants to go there and the style of play. Does Panarin's style of play match what the Carolina Hurricanes do? It's like copy and paste with each Carolina Hurricanes player, right? It's like they're all the same. Every line is the same. They shoot the puck a ton. They're fast. They're hard on the forecheck. Does Panarin fit that mold? I'm not quite sure. But they need goal scoring, and he would help that. And finally, the last team on my list is the San Jose Sharks. They're a team that wants to take the next step. They're not a guarantee to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. You bring in Panarin, that's going to help the case a ton. And they have the picks. Tons of picks. And they have young prospects. And they got the money to make this thing happen. You throw them in the top 6 with Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith. You have something special there, and you have him for the next few seasons. A veteran who can help guide some of these younger players, who's also going to contribute at a high level. It makes sense for San Jose. It's a nice landing spot for a veteran who wants to finish off his career in California on a team that's on the come up. Another really good fit. I'll throw one more in here. I'll go the Edmonton Oilers. Hyman's come back, and he's been excellent on the top line with Connor McDavid. Now on the second line, if you pair Panarin on that Draisaitl line instead of Podkolzin or whoever you're going to put there, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins or, name another player, you're going to get a boost by bringing in Panarin. The money will be difficult to make it work, and I don't know if Edmonton wants to make this move, but you can move out some pieces to make it happen. Podkolzin, I was looking at Trent Frederick, and then I realized this guy's got a full no-move. Why the hell does Trent Frederick have a no-move clause? Too many no-move clauses in the NHL that's killing teams and making it difficult to make trades. Trent Frederick should not have a no-move. Anyway, Podkolzin doesn't. You can move that contract out the door. Mangiapane, you can move that contract out the door. You give him a pick. I don't know. Maybe you throw Isaac Howard the other way. There's moves that you can make to make this happen. And we know that they're looking for a top 9 forward. And Bobby McMahon's name's been thrown out there. But if you can make another splash and get in a 30-goal scorer who's been pretty good in the playoffs too, has that experience, can help you in the playoffs, can make your power play even better, Panarin's that guy. And maybe the Oilers explore that type of trade. But anyway, those are my teams, right? Utah, Detroit, Carolina, San Jose, and let's throw the Edmonton Oilers in there. But you let me know in the comments below, what team makes the most sense for Panarin and who should go out and make a push for this guy? This is a really, really good player, and these types of players don't come around every so often, especially in the middle of the season, looking for a move or being forced out by their team.